Hello, my name's Hayde Rizer. I'm a BCBA licensed behavior analyst. I work at our clinic located in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I've been with Butterfly Effects for about a year now. I'm going to be sharing information and tips and resources about building healthy eating habits. Prevalence of feeding problems in children with autism may be up to 90%. This is a popular topic discussed amongst several of my families that I work with and just reported across BCBAs who deliver ABA services to kids with autism diagnosis that just about 70% of children are described in some way as being a picky eater, and it's also noted in our literature as well. Eating as a family has been shown to be correlated with a lot of benefits. So I think one of the things I like to mention from the get-go is, especially while we're at home a lot more, is building opportunities for us to eat together. That way you have the benefit of someone being able to model appropriate eating skills in terms of food preparation and giving roles and responsibility, setting the table, helping just go put napkins on the table. Maybe some of the children get to pick who gets to sit where. And it doesn't have to be formal or fancy. If it's a beautiful day outside and your child likes to have activities outdoors, maybe set up a picnic and make it exciting. You guys can practice preparing the food safely, even if it's just snacks like crackers and cheese, maybe rolled up meat, some fruits. Any way that works for you and your family. It can be fun and a group gathering. I think it's a wonderful opportunity to kind of hit multiple things all at once, but can be positive and rewarding for all in the household. Another thing that I love to talk about when talking about this subject is something called Prenup Principle. And that's the fancy way of looking at presenting things in, first then language. And we commonly talk about it also as being grandma's rule. And you may even be doing this without even realizing it. And it being a behavior concept is that grandma's rule is first eat your veggies, then you get dessert. And it may not just be a vegetable or dessert situation for you or your child, but it's a great way to help follow through. First, you present a lower probability or lower preferred thing that must be completed to earn and achieve the reward of the higher preferred item. It could be something as simple as first, you just taste the piece of meat. Maybe you hold a piece of turkey to your tongue. Maybe the child just has to smell it. It might even be something as small as just touching it. And then after you get to touch it, you can get a piece of cracker if they really like crackers. There's a great variety of ways you can build this, and it's based on your child's skills and strengths and what you're trying to grow. But what's really important is that you're taking it one step at a time, no matter how slowly, and that'll likely result in you getting greater benefits than trying to address all goals at once related to eating. We want to make it positive and rewarding and celebrate the little victories along the way. Them achieving something as small as just tasting it, smelling it, holding it in their mouth for a few seconds is way more celebrated and positive than presenting a large portion of an item and asking them to get through it because you really are concerned about, nutritional deficits that could be in their diet to then get something they want. It might be that one day you're getting there, but if you need to start off small and it seems almost hard that you're asking for something so little, that's okay. Consider what works best for your child. You know them best, and slowly build on that, because the slow victories that are tiny, tiny steps will get you far greater benefit than trying to do something too big and too much at once. It's important to consider your primary goals for family meal times as well. I know I mentioned ideas of helping prep the food, helping set up the table, maybe setting up a picnic. But maybe doing all of that all at once could be too much for your child. So recognize, what do you want to focus on for that one day, or even that one meal, or it could even be that one snack. It's what works best, but I definitely recommend first then language. It could be for the number of bites. Take 2 bites of fruit and veggies, and then you can have some of your noodles, and how you present it and arrange it. With that being said, portioning and presentation of food can be really important sometimes too. If you recognize that it can be a trigger sometimes for your child to get really frustrated or upset when you pull out large quantity of the foods to prep and only provide them a smaller amount, it might help you that at the end of the day when the kids are asleep or before everyone's up and going, you evaluate what snacks and meals might be okay for you to utilize that day versus what can they provide some choice in, or what do you want to keep away from. It makes a huge difference if you have a bowl of this size for them to say, you can put some crackers or Cheerios, but say, oh, but not too much, versus a bowl of this size. You know, looking at the 2 portions, and certainly with kids, I'm sure you're not using ceramics and pottery, but you know, the size concept is important to see here. It makes a big difference and can minimize frustrations when, you know, it's a lot less to fill up this than this, and it's one less battle that you and your child might have to face if it's too much for your liking or to take away. Additionally, maybe you pre-baggy things. If they like having lots of these snacks that are foods that you worry about them having too much of, or why we might have to do grocery shopping fewer times but buy things in bulk to need to last us longer, you know, how you prep it for the day. Ziploc baggies, Tupperware, containers, you name it. But going ahead, it makes a huge difference when every time your child wants a cookie or a cracker, you're giving them whole ones, versus if you go ahead and break it up into pieces that are options that you can present little bits of. Additionally, too, it's a great way to do if-then. If you know it's really, really hard for them to get through less preferred foods, be it that you're just trying to work on expanding the number of bites they eat of novel foods, or just trying something at a mealtime, take their favorite ones and make small pieces so that they have more opportunities to get their favorite ones. They're not going to feel like they're not getting enough. But if they get frustrated with too many small pieces too, make note of that. Again, all of this is about what works best for you and your family. It can help it be successful to achieve victories while slowly increasing opportunities of trying new things, or at least attempting to try it. Other opportunities is, you know, the involvement of the kids providing choice or communicating what they would like to eat or would want. I've provided the ideas of kids making cookbooks of preferred meals and recipes. Maybe they like to be on phones. They can help you take pictures of what you guys made. You don't have to print it out, make it fancy, but they've printed out and the child's given me the choice of like, do they want this one or that one? Or they just point to it on the phone. If, you know, depending on their strengths and skills, build on that. Do they want to write down the name of the foods? Do they want to color a picture of it so that it's their own creation? Do they even want to write down the recipes? There's a great many ways to help increase involvement and participation, and it be fun and rewarding and a group activity. These meals and snacks for them to show as preferred items make it easier for you. Or if you know something's unavailable, don't present it as an option, and it can minimize that barrier that they just ask it and you say, we don't have it. Maybe they can look at the array, and if, you know, it's not in the array, it's like, okay, I still have 2 or 3 other options I can choose from. Family involvement is a great way to increase positivity and communication and sense of role and responsibilities through all of these things. And you can do it in a fun way, and it can benefit healthy eating habits too. I hope these tips help.